Hey everyone, welcome. It is a pleasure. I feel both excited and a bit apprehensive to be honest, because as you can tell, I've not been here for quite a while. But I have decided to return to YouTube to talk with you guys to let you all know what's happening with me. No, I'm not dead, I'm alive. I know some of you have been wondering, where is C's? Where am I? I'm alive, I thank God I am still well. Life is challenging, but it is also very rewarding. It is exciting. You imagine having a mixture of emotions of both excitement and sometimes anxiety, fear, doubts. Well, I must tell you that over the last few years, and particularly the last month, I have had all these emotions and a whole lot more. My daily desire is going to be to want to share a lot with you about what has been going on, what it is I've been up to, and also just various nuggets of life that impact my life and what I hope can impact all of you as well. And so I want you to know that in recent time I have migrated from Dominica to another land, and right now I reside now in the St. Caicos Island, and it is indeed a new culture, a new place, and it has given me new challenges, new emotions that I've had to deal with, new things I've never done before that I now have to do. I tell you, it is interesting. So one of the things I will start off right off the bat to tell you is, if you have decided to move away from home to go to any new land, it's not going to be easy. But if I can do it, and thus far I've done it for 1 month already, then you can do it. I tell you, this first month has really tested me. I have had some highs and I've had some lows, like some real great mountaintop experiences, and I've had some of the deep valley experiences. But amidst it all, I can tell you that, guys, I have survived thus far, and I thank God so much. You know, many people live life in fear, afraid to make a big step, afraid to move, because stability is comfortable. You have a stable job, a stable home environment, your loved ones and friends are where you are, and all seems well. But there are things sometimes that you struggle with and you wish you were just not even around it to deal with it, even within the stable environment. And when you have to say, I'm going to move, it takes a certain amount of resolve from you, a certain amount of strength from anyone. And so I can tell you that thus far, my struggle has been major. My resolve has been strong. People tell me, girl, you're strong. How do you do that? How do you do that? Well, I don't think I've done it by my strength. I've done it by the grace of God thus far. And I'm doing it by the grace of God every day. Every day that I wake up, I open my eyes and I see a new day. I say, thank you, Jesus. Because many people did not even open their eyes. Even today, many people did not even open their eyes to see today. And so I thank God for the opportunity to share with you all a little bit about my first month away from the comfort of my home, the comfort of the familiar, and into a new environment. So as I said to you, there were some really exciting opportunities, and there were some highs and there were some lows. Some of the highs, I've met some people from my own country who have taken me up and showed me around. They have, taken me out to relax, to free my mind, to go have a meal, discussion, conversations, introduced me to people from both here and people from my own island and other parts of the Caribbean region. I've met people from Grenada, St. Vincent, Haiti, in Dominican Republic, Jamaica, just name it. Where I live, Philippines, where I live, it's a melting pot around here. Like, there are people from all over the world, to be honest. And so it's not a case where you don't meet people. So I've met all sorts of people, and I continue to meet a lot of new people, to be honest. And I'm thankful, and I'm always open to meeting new people. I've had great experiences at church. I've joined a choir at church. I play the drum sometimes there. We're talking about the tabou belay, if you know that drum, or the djembe as you call it, guys. So I play that sometimes at church, and that has given me joy. If you know me, you know that I love music. You know that music gives me a certain joy and peace, especially when it's gospel and it lifts up the name of the Lord. And so yes, I've gotten the opportunity to play for Christmas, New Year's Mass, and so on. I've also visited other churches, another church apart from my own religion, my own faith, and I've enjoyed the praise and worship there. I've enjoyed meeting the people there. They're very warm, very welcoming. So I have had some highs. My new task, my new job, Also, it's challenging, but it's also exciting. It creates opportunities to create as well. And so I am just so grateful for all the highs that I've experienced. I have not even detailed all the highs. I remember my first evening when I got to Turks and Caicos. I had to go right away to a fundraiser, and that fundraiser was very very interesting. There were lots of people there, and it was a major fundraiser. We're not talking about selling barbecues and selling a raffle by here and there. No, you're talking about big auction. You could say an auction of horse races. It was just amazing to see how much people could be or were willing to actually give to a fundraiser to help their society, to help the community. So that was, of course, mixed with great food and conversation and nice drinks with people, exchanging thoughts and ideas with people that you meet for the first time of different races, different ethnicities. So lots of highs, and I tell you, I cherish and I appreciate that. And yes, there were the lows. Nothing comes easy in life, and you are going to find difficulties sometimes when you move from your place to a new place. So even today, where I do not yet have my own vehicle, so I have to often get a ride with someone, and God puts people in place, and people always come say, okay, I can offer you a ride. Oh, I'll drop you there. Okay, just call me. And you have that from people who've never known you before, people you've never met before, and they treat you like your family, and they encourage you and they lift you up. So the challenge sometimes of getting around, because I don't yet have a vehicle of my own, that has been a challenge, and sometimes it's a burden, to be honest, because you don't always want to call somebody and say, hey, can I get a ride? Hey, can you pick me up, please? Hey, can you drop me home? But it calls for humility, yes, from being an independent woman with your own vehicle all these years, and then for you to be in a place where you have to say, hey, can I have a ride, please? That brings you down. But humility is all part of your journey, our journey to draw closer to God. Today, when I went to church, just to segue a little, I went to Mass today, and the priest who preached at Mass, he said today that maturity is one's capability to suffer. And I was like, what? Maturity? He said maturity is the capacity that somebody has to suffer. And that one hit me hard. And so suffering is not always a person has cancer, a person has a certain disease and everybody see them dying. Sometimes we suffer every day with the things that we face, that we have to sometimes swallow our pride, swallow our comfort, swallow the fact that we know just how life used to be. And now we have to step back a bit from the comfort and realize, hey, everybody doesn't have it prim and proper. And so sometimes you have to humble yourself, pick up the phone, call somebody, hey, can I get a ride, please? And be the small person in that case. And because you're small enough rather, to reach out and ask, then you appear as a big person too, because you learn what it is to be humble. The Lord says he will exalt those who are humble, and he will humble those who are exalted. And so he calls us to humble ourselves, trust in him, put our confidence in him and believe in him. And so that was one of the lows that I experienced, just having to call. And I'm still going through it. Every day I have to wake up to go to work. I think, oh my God, am I going to get to work today? There is no public transportation in this country. It's unfortunate. I think it's something they need the country's authority need to revisit and decide for their own citizens that they need a public transportation system whereby everybody does not have the big money to call it a taxi. And besides that, a lot of the taxis don't even cater for the locals, they cater for the tourists, because this country is built on tourism to a large extent. So not having public transportation makes it challenging. They have a system called. So for me, every day that I get to and from work, I say thanks be to God, because I know God has intervened on my behalf again on a new day. You see, so that is a challenge, but that's going to change, I'm sure, because the God we serve, he always perfects our situations in his time and in his ways. And so I'm not afraid. I know he's going to come through for me in the right time, in the right ways, right? So that has been a challenge. Another thing, when I came, I had to wait for like almost like a month, pretty much almost the entire month, maximum about 3 weeks and some, to get internet, to get Wi-Fi in my apartment. And that was a pain. I'll tell you, if you leave your country and you depend on Wi-Fi to communicate with your loved ones, you know you're in pain when you do not have Wi-Fi. And so I had to go find another alternative of getting Wi-Fi sometimes in certain places, or I've had also to go to one of the local phone companies to get a SIM card that I could set up and call home with some limited minutes, and also get some data from it. So, but video call would just be ridiculous. Even just the normal voice calls, they too we struggle with them. That was a pain. I'm not lying to tell you guys. It was a real pain. And then these days with technology, everybody depends on Wi-Fi for them to get most of us to get our television, cable television. And so to have access to the various Netflix or whatever it is that you want to just watch something, I didn't have that luxury for the first 3 weeks, so I'm into the fourth week, so that was a bit uncomfortable. It was painful. It was very, very difficult. There were nights that were just so quiet. There were days when just so quiet, unless you hear people outside or something like that, or you hear the neighbor playing the music and so on. Apart from that, it was just awfully quiet. And silence is beautiful. We can delve into it and learn a lot, but sometimes silence is painful because you hear yourself, you hear so many things that you possibly do not want to hear sometimes. And so to drown on that silence was sometimes a challenge, but God, He used that time to minister to my heart. And I can tell you, it has given me an opportunity to pray more, an opportunity to read the Word of God more, to reflect on the Scriptures, and just do things that would uplift my spirit and uplift me. Because I must say, and I probably did not share that my first week, when I came here, people were actually just going into their Christmas break. In this country, Christmas, New Year's, those times are big vacation time. So during that time, a lot of people travel, they go back to their countries. They have a lot of expats in this country. And so after, during Christmas and New Year's, people go back to their countries. Not a case where they just stay in Turks and Caicos or anything. They move back to either a different part of Turks or the different islands or the different countries, in order to spend time with their loved ones and families. And so I now came in during that time like a crazy person. That was the worst decision ever, in my view. Although I was given an option, I thought, well, I need to come in to settle in so that by January I can be ready for work, etc., etc. Well, yes, that worked out in that way, but as far as the silence and the not having anywhere much to go and the place not as bubbly as it needs to be because everybody's on vacation and are in vacation mode. Even businesses here, just vacation mode. Everybody's just like, after the holidays. So that was a challenge. I will tell you that even getting a bank account was a challenge. The time frame, the things that I had to do, go online. Then they tell you come back to the bank to finish your application. When you go back to the bank, they tell you come back in 2 weeks to get an appointment, for you to set up the bank account and so on. So just all these little challenges proved to be a little frustrating. But at the same time, they also taught me a word, patience, and it's not just a word, but it's a value. We say patience is a virtue, it's a value, and it's a virtue. Well, that virtue, one person I met constantly, and that even every day a person sees me, they say, remember my word? What's my word? And I have to tell them patience, because they always said to me, remember sees patience. And so for me, patience is a watchword, because when you move to any place new, you're accustomed with a certain culture. But you might meet a different culture where people don't really care too much about the time. People don't really care too much about how fast they do things. People may not serve you the same way that your country serves you. You may not get a driver's license as quickly as you can get one in your country. You have to wait. You have to go through a process. You have to see how long the lines are. Some people like long lines. They like to see a lot of people, I don't know, maybe. A lot of long lines in certain business places. And it may not be the same in where you're from. You just have to be patient. And so I've learned, and I'm learning every day to tell myself to be patient. But so as I said, there were some highs, there were some lows. Don't talk about the emotions of just missing loved ones, missing my family. Saying goodbye to my mother was the hardest thing ever. I didn't know it would be so heart-wrenching. I didn't know it would be so difficult. I didn't know it would be so challenging. And not just my mom, but even like the people that I'm closest to from home. It was very, very heartbreaking just to say goodbye to people and to go to the airport and to literally jump on a plane and not see your people again, and recognizing that you're not going to see them for a while. It is difficult, guys. Don't think it's easy. It is difficult. But I'm not here complaining, oh, it is difficult and don't do it. No, that's not what I'm doing. Don't you ever get that idea either. But that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing with you the realities of if you're planning to move from one place to another, that it is not going to be easy. Even a simple move, like if you're married in your own country and you're going to another part of the country because you're moving with your spouse. You're from Portsmouth, you're going to Jimmy, or you're going to Grand Bay, or you're going to Grand Fort to live with your spouse, and you're living behind your mom and the people, your loved ones that you were living with all your life, and you're going to live elsewhere in a new community. You are going to be challenged too. You are going to have a difficulty. You are going to feel certain emotions. And so that's what I'm talking about, the realness of the thing. Okay, but I'm not complaining, because I know some people say, oh, so why you leave and go, why you leave? No, it's not about that. And in life, by the way, never let people make you think that if you make a decision to change, that you're making a bad move. Especially when your decision, you've prayed about it, you've entrusted it to God, and you have seen reasons already why God is asking you to move. You move, and you move in faith. He never said it would be easy. We sing that song sometimes, don't we? There's a song, I think there is a line that says, he never said it would be easy. Never said you wouldn't cry. He never said that we would not be tested, but he said he would be with us and he will carry us through. And for me, like, that's what I'm taking with me. That's my hope, that God is going to carry me through, that God will carry me through, that God is carrying me through in this challenge, in this difficulty, in this painful, experience. It's a painful experience to leave your country, to leave your comfort zone, and to go to a new place is painful. If it's not painful, it's because you had no connections, no attachments, no relationships, you cared about nobody but you. I'm telling you. But in my case, I had relationships, I had community, I had faith community, I had family, I had good friends, I had work, I had a good job, a solid job. Yes, I did. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, and I had a lot of issues, by the way, for those who want to know and are asking. But at the end of the day, I had a job. Okay, I could have settled and said, I have a job, I have a job. That I will talk about another time, because I know one day I will get an opportunity to talk about that. But in life, we're not made to be afraid. We are made to step out we step out boldly. We are made to step out in faith and confidence against the status quo. The status quo is to get comfortable. When you have a public service job, you're comfortable, you have a job, you're appointed, yes, and that's it. No, sometimes life is calling you elsewhere, where your talents and your skills and your gifts and your abilities and your knowledge will be given more attention, because you get to use it in order to make a greater impact in another place. God sometimes wants us to move from where we are so he can use us. He detaches us. He detaches me, yes, and he detached me, and still is working on detaching me from my comfort and from my attachments, so that he can open my eyes to new things, new opportunities, but also new possibilities. Open my eyes to new environments where I can impact others, where I can impart knowledge in others, where I can use the skills, the knowledge, the experience that he has given to me in order to touch people in a different part of the world where he has called me. And who knows, he's probably calling some of you as well to make a change, to make a bold move, to decide against what others might think, and to not be afraid, because people are malicious. People are malicious. When they know or they heard, they will come up with all sorts of things. They will say all manner of things about you that are completely false. And you have nothing to prove to people. Just know yourself and why you do what you do. Okay, but that's a different subject. We will talk about that another time, because I know I will share with you, even on various matters like this. How do we deal with criticisms, for example, from complete strangers? Strangers. They don't know you, you don't know them. They heard something from a third, a fourth, a fifth party. So you know the story, but when you start a story somewhere, by the time it reaches the third, fourth, even the second person, the story starts changing, right? So you imagine. But that is another story. What I want us to focus on is the fact that I've survived the first month in a different country, and I thank God. A new place, a big move, and I've also been able to grow and learn within that month. And I've come here to share with you that it is not impossible to make changes in life. It is not impossible for us to grow. It is not impossible for us to challenge ourselves, make new decisions, and just entrust ourselves to God when He says and He gives us the opportunity to be detached, that we allow Him to detach us, yes, detach us from the things that hold us strong and the things that we hold on strong to that keep us not so focused on Him but on ourselves. Okay, so life is like that. Life is like that. Sometimes some of us have to move, other people might stay, and sometimes we can move and return. But what the assignment that we're given when we moved, we must complete. We must get that assignment done to the best of our abilities. And so my goal is, amidst the ups and the downs, amidst the highs and the lows, that I will ensure that I commit myself to the task and I give it my utmost, because my utmost is what it should be and nothing less, okay? It's not always sunshine. It's not always beautiful rainbows. Sometimes you're gonna get some roses, but roses comes with thorns. And so I am learning every day. It's not easy. It still continues. I'm learning every day to stay optimistic, stay faithful, pray, trust the word of God, trust myself. Yeah, it's important to trust yourself, trust God, trust yourself, so that you know that you are making the right decision. All right, so there are some common challenges moving abroad will give to us. Common challenges. One is the cultural adjustment. As I said, I spoke to you about some of them, and I don't want to go into so much deep details about the culture, but you will find that adapting to the customs, adapting to the social norms and behaviors of the people might be very different from what you're accustomed with, and it might overwhelm you and even frustrate you in some cases. Cultural adjustments, that is something we have to bear in mind. You will find some language barriers as well, and I told you earlier that here is a melting pot, and sometimes the language barrier, it gets me. Yes, I get people speaking Creole, a different type of Creole from my Creole, because I speak Creole from Dominica, they speak Creole from Haiti, St. Lucia, wherever else, okay? And sometimes it's not all the words and expressions that are the same, and so you're wondering, what are they saying? And they speak it quickly compared to how you might speak it. So language barrier definitely is something that has been a bit of a challenge. Sometimes you feel a sense of social isolation because you're alone in a country, you're still trying to get to know people, building relationships, and the people that you know from your country are busy, they're getting their jobs done, so it's occasionally you will get to see them, maybe on the weekend, on a Friday, on a Sunday evening, you see them, and then for the whole week again, everybody's busy until next Friday, till next Sunday, maybe you might see them. So you will have that social isolation as well, where you leave behind your loved ones and you feel the pain and you feel the pressures, of life. Financial adjustments, don't talk about that. That in itself is a whole subject, my friends. The financial adjustments needed to be made to leave your country, to settle in a new place, to start a job. All your financial obligations are challenged to the core. And you wonder, but see, what did I do? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? But I'm sure with commitment to what you're doing and with commitment to managing your finances, as time goes by and you start getting your salary, you will see your way and you will be able to get back on your feet as soon as possible. If you're a rich family, then great, you probably might not feel anything. That's okay. But for those of us who know what it is to struggle, we have our own obligations, that definitely called for some financial adjustments as far as I'm concerned. And navigating some legalities, certain things like understanding certain requirements, the job requirements in where you're going, the laws of the new country where you are, what is acceptable, what is not, the things that you can do, what you cannot do, for how long can you do them. All these things are legal implications, and you have to navigate them as well, when you go to those places. Finding housing. Here, especially, housing is a major challenge because, people cater for the tourists, and so you being like just a local person It's not the priority, and so even getting a house sometimes can be a challenge. So navigating housing and getting a reasonable house for a reasonable price as well, that can be a challenge. So these are all some of the things you have to work on, consider, when you're thinking about like moving. These are some of the things, but like I say, it is not to be a daunting situation. It is really to give you a heads up that if you're moving, and moving is great, but always be prepared to think about some of those challenges that you are going to face. Even if you were to come with your loved ones, even if you were to come with your spouse, your family, your children, your mom, whoever, your pet, whatever it is, at the end of the day, you do have some challenges that you will face, okay? Healthcare access, if you get sick, all those things are things that you have to bear in mind. The difference in the job market as well, because it's not all job markets that are open to everybody, and it may not be the same. When you're accustomed to getting a job in your country, it may not be the same in another country. And when you're talking about living in a foreign country, everybody doesn't want everybody in their country. Even in your own country, you say, oh, why all these people come into our country? But we forget that all of us migrate and we go to other people's country. So we must be welcoming to other people when they come to Dominica, when they come to Grenada, Barbados, wherever, to the US, because people build countries. It takes people to build countries, and even in Turks and Caicos, it takes people of different nationalities to build the country, especially a young country developing into its independence. It takes a lot of sometimes foreign people's knowledge, experience, work ethics, and so on to help to build up your country, our countries. Okay, I spoke about the emotional challenges that I faced, and you will face them too if you move. Emotional challenges, okay, all of that. Building a new support network is so important. Getting new friends, meeting new people, and learning that you can, one or two people you can probably trust and rely on. That's important. Going and play like you don't want to get to know anybody is not going to be a benefit to you. It will actually affect you negatively. So think about that and focus on the fact that we all need people. Life is about networking. Life is about connecting with others. It's not about being selfish and into my little world by myself. So building a new support network is vital. It's important. And of course, logistical challenges. Listen to me. When I had to leave, I had to figure out how to get my clothes, even my clothes and some of my basic necessities, the things that I want to take with me, my basic little gadgets, even your computer. If you have two computers, how do I want to carry all of that? Can I carry all of that when I'm on the plane? No, the plane has you have limited things you can take, or you be prepared to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if you have to just try to carry everything on the plane. And so I had to figure out, how do I get my things to the country? And it's not every country that has a direct network. And so even working that out was an issue. So when you're planning to move, remember to consider all those logistics that involves in getting some of your things there. So for me, I had to find a way and ship my things, most of my things, some shoes, clothes, gadgets, some electrical equipment that I wanted to take with me so I could talk with you guys. I had to find a way to ship them to reach my destination before I could get there myself, right? So, and I did, but it was a climb. It was a challenge. I thank God for tropical shipping. I actually go through tropical shipping in Dominica. So if you're thinking about that, that's one of the places you can possibly check to get your stuff over to that foreign country. Find out if they go to your destination. So challenges can vary, obviously. These are just some of the challenges that I faced. And I'm not saying that you will face the same ones, all of the same ones like I did. But importantly, you have to note that there will be challenges in moving. And it doesn't mean that it's the wrong decision because you face challenges. Challenges are part of life. They are meant to toughen us up. They are meant to make us mature. They are meant to make us more confident in ourselves. And they are meant to help us to trust God and to lean on God and not on ourselves. Lean more on God and less of leaning on our own weak selves. Okay? So that's it for now. In terms of some of the challenges, I will definitely come back and share some stuff with you guys again. Look forward to my other videos. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen. Thank you for, even sharing your thoughts. If you did, feel free to tell me what you think about that. If you have moved before, or if you are in the process of transitioning from one place to another and you want to reach out to me, feel free to do so. I would love to hear what your thoughts are, and I'll be open to sharing my thoughts based on what you say. I invite you to, if you were inspired by this video, to please share it with your friends, or share it with somebody else who you know might benefit from it. Go ahead, feel free, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell as well, so that anytime I post another video of some interest, that you will definitely get it, and you will know when I post, and you'll be able to come on and listen and interact with me. I look forward to your interaction, and again, I thank you all very much for taking the time and to listen to what I had to share today. I hope it was beneficial to you. It definitely is a pleasure sharing with you, and as I said, I am so happy to be back with all of you. God bless you. Talk to you sometime again. Stay positive. Remember, it takes a person who is strong to be mature, and of course, maturity is your capability, your capacity to endure suffering, according to a priest today. And I'm thankful that I've learned that today, because my challenges have only served to make me mature. See you around. Remember to subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends, and please hit the notification bell for further videos. See you around. God bless you.